Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Feist, the managing editor of Fun World Magazine, joining you this morning from here, my home office. Just like Team IAAPA around the world, my colleagues are working from home as well. IAAPA is still open for business, and we are here to serve you. Now, during this unsettling time, we are continuing to stay connected to all of our members around the world in new and exciting different ways. And that's what IAAPA Live Chat is all about. We've talked to several guests throughout the past couple of weeks. And today, who better to talk about when it comes to inspiring hope than the person who leads the place, whose slogan is the place where happiness inspires hope. We are talking today with Pam Landworth, the CEO and president of Give Kids the World. She too is working from home this morning. Hi there, Pam. How are you?
Good morning, Scott. How are you doing?
We are doing very well. We wanted to check in with you because, first of all, Give Kids the World has served more than 100,000 families. I believe you're well on your way to 200,000.
We're at 176,000.
Wow, we're almost there. And you have so many phenomenal stories when it comes to being inspired, being filled with hope. And right now we could use some of that. So thank you very much for joining us
My
today.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Greatly appreciate it. Now, for folks who may not be aware of the mission of Give Kids the World, this is a magical village here in Orlando where children with terminal illnesses, those with critical illnesses, can actually come to Orlando and spend a week-long vacation enjoying all of the attractions that are beloved right here in our local community. All these phenomenal attractions where kids are treated like kings and queens for the week.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the mission of Give Kids the World.
It's amazing. So we're an 88-acre resort, nonprofit resort that is a destination for children from all around the world who do have a critical illness, and their one wish is to come experience all the magic, whether that's meeting Mickey Mouse, Elsa and Anna, swimming with the dolphins, visiting the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Legoland. And believe it or not, half of all children, when given the opportunity to express their wish, it is to come here. So again, we've served 176,000 families from all over the world. We get them from all 50 states and about 76 countries around the world. And our whole mission is to create a week of yes, where, they're so used to hearing no, and their lives are just upended once they get this diagnosis. And it really is a family issue because everyone in the family is impacted. Everyone in their, circle from our. So we wanted to give them a week where they can just come back and be a kid again and be normal and create that happiness, because I think that's the best medicine.
And so many of IAAPA's treasured members are parts of your mission. Explain to me what the global attractions industry does for Give Kids the World and how many of our members are partners of yours.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how long your show is. I don't think it's long enough to give that list, but we've been so blessed to have this amazing partnership with IAAPA for, over 26 years now. And it started with the World Passport for Kids program, because, a child only gets one wish.
Yeah.
And that's it. So we were always looking for ways, how do we extend that wish? How do we make it last longer? How do we make those memories go longer? So to keep creating that hope. And it was just wonderful when we were able to introduce the World Passport for Kids program, where there's probably about 400 participating theme parks around the world who, once a child, after they leave the village for up to a year after they leave, can visit any participating theme park for free. Now, it doesn't include transportation accommodations, but it's not just the big theme parks. It's the, the fun spots and the family entertainment centers.
Yeah.
And that just allows them to extend that joy that they've experienced for the week. So countless partners there. Of course, that's what jump-started the relationship. And then, of course, it's built on a relationship with the parks, because Disney and SeaWorld were our founding partners back in 1986. And then, of course, Universal came on right after. But without them, we wouldn't be able to exist. So the families get to go to all 4 Disney parks, both Universal Parks, SeaWorld, Aquatica, and those tickets are donated. Parking is donated. Legoland donates. So it's just amazing. More than one person, a family can possibly do in a week is what's in store for them outside of the village, and then so much more. And then in addition to that, suppliers and so one of the things that a lot of our children aren't able to take advantage of are rides, because so many of our children are in wheelchairs. And so Zamperla has donated 4 attractions that are wheelchair accessible. which is amazing. And to see a parent's face light up with joy for the first time when they're watching a child experience a ride is, you can't even put that into words.
And these are rides that have been specially designed to
Right.
accommodate children of all different abilities.
All abilities.
I've had
All
the good
abilities.
fortune to volunteer out at Give Kids the World, and I can tell you that nothing really touches your heart than having a child who is in a wheelchair be told, yes, you can ride the carousel. Yes, you can ride the swing, and you don't even have to transfer. It is absolutely amazing.
Well, I tell you, it was so amazing because they donated a train and they donated some other attractions, and then they donated a magic bike ride, and it's one of Zamperla's, just a big ride. And so what you do is you get on and you pedal it, and so it goes around, but then it goes up in the air. But he retrofitted it so that children can use their hands instead of their legs if they don't have movement in their legs, or we can transfer the whole wheelchair over and a parent can sit by them and do all of that. So I have to share with you, about 3 years ago, I actually got Alberto out to the village to experience it, right?
And this is Mr. Zamperla, the head of
this ride
Zamperla
together.
himself.
We were on this ride together, and right behind us, a mom was there with her son by her side who'd never been on an attraction before. The mom was crying tears of joy. Alberto was crying. And as we were up in the air, he looked over and he says, I think I see another piece of land. You need another attraction right there. And 3 years later, we got the swing. So yeah, it's just, that's the kind of overwhelming outpouring and love of support of so many partners through the IAAPA. It's just amazing.
You are definitely a resort, almost a theme park within that resort.
Yes.
With all your rides. A lot of what IAAPA members' missions are.
Right.
When it comes to creating memories, when it comes to having that best day experience, we're kind of in the same business from the standpoint that Give Kids the World also creates that best day experience, but this is the best week of your life.
Well, what we like to say is what we need to do is create that perfect guest experience, because we don't get a second shot, right? You get one wish. And if we mess it up, there's no do-overs, unfortunately, in this.
Yeah.
So we want to create that perfect guest experience because we don't get a second chance. Whereas the theme park industry, they want to create a perfect guest experience so their guests will keep coming back time and time again. So we're both focused on that same thing of creating happiness, creating joy, creating memorable moments. The theme park industry, of course, because they want their folks to keep coming back. Ours is because they can't come back.
Absolutely.
It's very bittersweet.
How can IAAPA members continue to support you? Not only there at the village, but one of the simplest ways, as you mentioned earlier, is the World Passport for Kids program.
The World Passport Kid program, which is an amazing opportunity to extend the sentiment of that wish and keep those spirits alive and things like that. We've got a program that's coming up that so many of our partners support, which is Coasting for Kids. And we were looking to do about 30 different parks this year, where we are going to do it on multiple days throughout. And of course, a little thing called a virus is kind of standing in that way and postponing some of those events. So we're now looking at hosting all of those events on one day. I believe it's on a Saturday, August 29th. And we're trying to gear it toward then. And that's not just those theme parks that can do that. It's, we have sponsors of those. So we've got manufacturers and suppliers that can sponsor those events as well.
Fantastic. That is something to look forward to, hopefully later this summer.
Absolutely.
Definitely going to put that on my calendar.
Keeping hope alive.
There you go. Keeping hope alive. And how do you do that? Somebody whose mission it is to keep hope alive. A lot of folks are now entering, let's say, their second month working from home.
Right.
And the headlines every morning when you wake up aren't the most positive in the world, as the global attractions industry together figures out COVID-19. But how can you actually inspire hope coming from the person whose business that is?
Well, I think there's probably many ways. I actually relocated to the village. I'm home today because of technical issues. Our internet went down last night at the village, so I had to zip home this morning. So the village has become my home away from home for the last month, and I'll continue to stay there until this is over. But we looked out because not only do we have our staff that we want to stay connected with, but our volunteers. We fill 1,800 volunteer shifts a week. Yeah. And for many of these volunteers, this is their reason to get up in the morning.
Sure.
So one of the ways is we're doing these virtual parties on Facebook Live, right? And we've done several of them. The other way is I got the top 250 volunteers that put in the most hours, and I wrote them a handwritten note to say, thank you, keep faith alive. You know, we're going to get through this together. We have a woman who literally spends 8 hours a day, 6 days a week at the village. Her life is, I mean, what does she do now with all of this
Wow.
time? So trying to stay connected to that volunteer base. But one of the interesting things was, as you remember as a child, when you were so excited about going somewhere or a baseball game and then it rained and it got rained out. Well,
Right.
all of these children now who are looking forward to this wish, and it might not have been the first time it was postponed because it might have been postponed for health issues or for a number of issues. And now imagine you're so excited, you're going to get to go, you're going to go to Good Kids of the World, you're going to be on this wonderful, and now we're postponing it. And they don't understand because I think, Scott, as you and I've talked, that when they're sick, which they always are, the world doesn't stop. So why is the world stopping because of a virus? And that's so hard to explain to a child. So we've had to postpone, or the wish granting organizations have had to postpone so far about 1,000 wishes. So after the first week, I said, wow, I can't even imagine what these kids must be feeling. So I sent a letter to all of our wish granting partners and said, hey, I just can't even imagine. These kids must be so disappointed. If you know of a child who is particularly disappointed and needs to pick me up, needs some faith that, yeah, this wish is going to happen, or even more sad, rush wishes that now won't be able to accommodate, so they might not ever get their wish. If you'd like, we would love to send them a love package. So just send us their name, what they like, if they have any siblings, and we'll be happy to send out love packages. I sent it out, and within 24 hours, I had 150 requests. We've now filled 402 love packages that have been sent out throughout the United States, Canada, England, the Netherlands. And so and we've gotten some incredible pictures back with kids holding up one of the items from the love package. And I think that's one, how we can keep hope alive. It's, hey, we're sorry you're not here now, but you're going to get here.
Mhm.
Here's just some love. And then if this goes on much longer, we might do round 2. But we've been
Absolutely.
so pleased. And I've reached back out to those wish granting partners and said, hey, you know, now it's been extended a little bit more. Keep sending us names. I just want to keep sending love out.
That is absolutely fantastic. Also fantastic is this immense volunteer workforce you have at the village.
Right.
How many volunteer hours a week are needed to keep the village up and running?
Well, we fill 1,800 shifts a week, and they roughly are 3 to 4 hours a week. I mean, 3 to 4 hours
Wow.
per shift times 1,800. So you're looking at roughly 7,000 volunteer hours every week. But for
Mhm.
them, those are people behind those hours who, this is, again, their reason to get up in the morning. They get such joy out of serving in the gingerbread house, or, you know, serving that ice cream cone. You know, another piece that was really sad is we were all set to dedicate Henry Starlight Scoops in March. And unfortunately, of course, it's all ready to go, but nobody there to eat ice cream. And I think that's kind of the saddest thing, is I miss the sound of laughter on the sound of laughter on the avenue. It's just a very eerily quiet to be there and not have children or volunteers or staff or our partners out there.
Yeah. And that was what Jeff Stamp says here this morning. You can have ice cream for breakfast.
You can have breakfast, lunch, bedtime snack. And it's so cool because, of course, you tore down the ice cream palace to reopen it as Henry Starlight Scoops, which is, homage to Henry, was the GM of the Starlight Motel during those pioneering space days. And the other day we had our final inspection, and I was able to go up into the spaceship on top. I mean, it was just really cool. So I cannot wait for the first time the kids actually come and have, when you walk in, the entrance, it counts down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then you walk in and there's going to be a big mat that says blast off.
And there were a
And
lot of IAAPA partners who came together to build this new ice cream parlor.
the first time, to our knowledge, that Disney and Universal partnered together on the creative behind this. Yeah, first time ever that the two creative departments came together to create Henry Starlight Scoops, which shows that the fierce competitors, and you see that all the time in the theme park industry and the IAAPA industry. People who are competitors on the outside come together.
Yes.
For anything. I mean, I know they're coming together because of the COVID-19, but they all the time come together for the village. That leaves, competition leaves when they enter the gates.
That you have Walt Disney Imagineering as well as Universal Creative. Both partnering at Give Kids the World to create this magical new ice cream parlor that's named after your founder, Henry
Right.
Landworth.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it has on top of it a UFO
A
that will sit on top
30-foot
of the ice cream.
diameter spaceship.
That is amazing.
That was also built by one of our amazing partners, Kern, Barry Kern.
Kern Studios, yep.
Kern Studios, who does, all of Mardi Gras or the bulk of Mardi Gras over in
A lot of the
New
parade
Orleans,
floats.
but also, so many things throughout the industry. I will tell you, I flew over there 2 years ago because he's been such a wonderful friend. He built the mushroom on top of the carousel. And I just said, Barry, look, I don't know what I'm asking. All I know is I need a 30-foot diameter spaceship to go on top of this building. Didn't have a diagram, didn't have anything. And he says, you've got it. And he donated the whole thing.
Just like that. You got
Just like that. It was built in his, over in the Philippines, and it was brought over, and it was such a sight to see it being hoisted up and lifted up over the ice cream palace.
And Kern,
Starlight Scoops.
Kern Studios is another proud IAAPA member, as well as Premier Rides. Sarah Shea.
Premier Rides. Oh my goodness.
Sarah Shea is joining us this morning as well. Sarah says that they are a proud sponsor. Look at that.
They do. They sponsor so many of our events. The motorcycle ride. They've just been wonderful partners. And we just couldn't even. It's so hard to list all of them. When you start, you don't want to leave anybody out. But it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that have just support, whether it's on site when it's during an expo, the golf tournament. The runs that we do, the rides that we do, it's just amazing, the outpouring of love and support. And it's just from every level. One of the very first calls I got after this, they knew that things were happening, was from Barb Thompson. Now, believe me, I know that she had a number of things, and it was right when I think you guys were out in California having your board meeting or whatever.
Yep.
And the number of things that must have been weighing heavily on her mind. But she reached out to Give Kids the World to say, how are you guys doing? Is there anything that we can do to help? That speaks volumes about this industry and what a family it is and how blessed we are to be part of it.
Well, I know that Ken McGuire here has chimed in this morning, and he is saying, good morning. You are such an inspiration and blessing, Pam. He loves supporting Give Kids the World. You mentioned the golf tournament during Expo, and it sounds like Ken is excited for the annual golf tournament that takes place every year during IAAPA Expo in November.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's so funny. I just looked behind me and I have a sign that says count your blessings.
Sure, and, we can see that. Yes.
Yeah, there it is. And IAAPA is one of our biggest blessings at Give Kids the World. I will tell you that right now.
Thank you. And you had hinted earlier in our conversation that right now the village is closed out of an abundance of caution.
Right.
The families who were scheduled to visit, you had to say, it's not no, it's just not right now.
Right. Just later. Something more to look forward to.
And tell us what is happening right now at the village while unfortunately your gates are closed.
Yeah, I tell you, it is so quiet. I am so used to being in control. Like with a hurricane, I say, okay, we're going to close this day and we're going to reopen this day. And that's the hardest part of the not knowing when we're going to reopen. So it's trying to keep the spirits up of everybody around and spread that joy and hope. I've relocated to the village. I'm staying there. We've got security around the clock too, but to tell you, just to walk down the avenue and not hear the sound of kids laughing and not seeing ice cream cones being eaten. So what we're trying to do, again, in addition to those love packages that we're sending out, is we're doing it's not just the experience outside of the village, but every night we do a big party. We do Halloween every Monday. We do Christmas every Thursday. Once Upon a Village on Friday. Mayor Clayton's birthday party. So we're taking those shows and actually doing virtual parties. So we did we've done a virtual Once Upon a Village. We did a virtual Winter Wonderland program. My favorite so far is we did a virtual Village Idol where the kids get up on stage and perform. And then other kids are the judges. But we reached out to the community, our alumni and families that are going to come, and staff and volunteers, and asked them to videotape themselves doing, whether it's singing, dancing, fire stored tossing or whatever. And we got some of the most amazing videos. And so we did a half-hour show on that. And tonight,
And I'm afraid, Pam, right now that I cannot hear you, unfortunately. Your screen looks a little bit frozen. However, we're going to put up a comment here in the meantime so you can rejoin us from Ben Story. Ben says, is there anything we can be doing to help the village while you're temporarily closed? If you need anything, please use this form to ask us for help. And before we got started this morning, Ben, I can tell you that Pam says, although the village doesn't have internet access right now, their website, if you go to www.gktw, right? GiveKidsTheWorld.org, GKTW, that if you go there and use one of the drop-down menus that you can actually find information and instructions on what the village needs. Now, they've been closed for about 1 month at this point. They've been down for about 1 month. Pam says she doesn't know when, unfortunately, they will be reopened. However, they're telling families again, it's not no, it's just not right now. And so much of visiting Give Kids the World is, as she mentioned, you get one of those amazing experiences at one of Orlando's beloved attractions. So the families can visit the Magic Kingdom. They can go to Islands of Adventure. They can spend the day over at SeaWorld. I've actually been at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex before and seen Wish children wearing their big buttons. And the Wish children are actually at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. They also get to enjoy a day down at Legoland, Florida and Winter Haven. So there are so many different things that folks get to do while they're here enjoying their magical vacation, and they need some of those attractions to be open. However, I can tell you the village within itself is its own destination. The village has things going on in the morning. As we heard earlier, you can have ice cream for breakfast. You can stay right on site and enjoy this amazing resort style zero entry pool. It has fountains inside the pool. There's shady palm trees, and you can just kind of stroll across the street when you're ready and get lunch. It is absolutely amazing. So I think Pam is back. She dropped for a moment. I am going to see if we can't bring her back in. Are you back? Pam, are you there? Pam, can you hear me?
Surprise! That was
There you
not
are.
the surprise
All right.
ending I was talking about.
Right? Awesome. All right. And you're at home right now
I am.
using a Wi-Fi. And the way that this Be Live system works, the whole way that the
Oh,
software...
please tell me how this works.
It's magic. You know, at one point in time, 5 years ago, we would have to have a control room that was full of people pushing buttons. I'm the guy who's now pushing buttons.
Oh,
There's
I love
no
it.
teleprompter. There's no script. We just do this
And that's
hope
why it's
that it
live,
works.
right? That live TV is always interesting.
It is always interesting. In the meantime, Jessica says here that you can go to gktw.org/help, and it has all the ways that you can help the village. And we're going to get Pam back. Again, the software is so phenomenal that makes this work that, unfortunately, if a line drops, the person just kind of slides out. Pam just dropped again. So we're going to give her another opportunity to get back into the conversation. Meantime, we have Ben here. Ben has the website as well. There it is, gktw.org/help. And you are very welcome. That's what IAAPA does best, right? We connect our members with other members around the globe. There's more than 6,000 of them. And together, we are going to get through this together. So anything that the village needs, most likely, because I've seen it before on their website, there is a list of items that they need donated. There's a list of products that they would like to have. So Ben and everybody else, if you can reach out to their website and see that, then they'll be able to give you more information. I think Pam's back. Pam, are you there? All right, we're getting the countdown now. There she is.
Yay, okay.
Fantastic. Well, we had just had the question, what does the village need right now? What are you in need of? So when that time comes, I'm starting to get goosebumps here.
I know.
When that
can't wait.
time comes and you can call the families and say, look, it's time. We're ready to welcome you. The gate swings open. The music starts again. All the activities take place. What do you need?
You know, there's so many different ways and so many different ways people can help, whether it's, you know, giving their time, their treasures. You know, of course, I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for everyone. Is going to be fundraising throughout these times. We don't know when it's going to end, but we do know that the floodgates are going to open, and all of these children that had to postpone are going to be on top of all the kids who are planning on coming anyway. So we expect that. So, always donations are very helpful, just of cash, but also of in kind, because when we're sending out all of these huge packages, these love packages, when the kids come back every day, we give a gift to every child in the family when they come back from the long days at park. So refreshing some of those gifts that we're now giving out are going to be a huge issue for us. Creating wish pillows for all the kids, and I know that that's online. So I think there is a place, if you go to our website, givekidstheworld.org/help, there's just a list of all the different ways that you can stay connected and help us.
All right.
Because there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to be chomping at the bit, and we can't wait.
And you're also going to need volunteers. Dave Parfit from upstate New York this morning says that he can't wait to bring his next group of volunteers to Give Kids the World. Unfortunately, they were supposed to volunteer over spring break this year. That just didn't happen.
Yeah, it's just so disappointing from so many different reasons. And this, I think, is going to have it's having so many different impacts on so many different people who like structure in their lives. They like patterns. They get up, they do this, they do that. People who are already isolated, they live alone, and now they're even more in isolation. Yeah. And I think the message is, we're going to get through this together. And hopefully it's going to bring us together stronger, and we're going to come out of it even stronger. And we just have to stick together and find those ways to reach out and virtually touch each other, right? Because it's how you make people feel that's so important. So how do we keep that hope alive for our volunteers? How do we keep the hope alive for those families who are so dejected that they can't come now? But how do we keep that discourse open with all of our partners to say, hey, we're still here, and we're going to need you now more than ever when we reopen, and we know that you're going to need us too. So those partners that we can help, like some of our restaurant partners, is we're encouraging our staff and volunteers to order online from them, right? Yeah. So how do we help our partners so that we can all get through this stronger?
And the global attractions industry, just like what Cheryl has said here, every single attraction should participate in the World Passport for Kids program. That's something that attractions can be doing right now when they're not open, is looking towards the future and participating in this amazing program.
Because it's not just the theme parks. It's the smaller, mom and pop organizations, the family entertainment centers, and it's just, some go way overboard and provide meals and all those things. Others just allow them to have access to the park. It's the smallest thing makes the biggest difference for these families.
Absolutely. And that's definitely something that we need to keep in mind. And the limited time that we have left, Pam, it is all you. Fill us with some inspiration, with some hope for brighter days ahead.
I think it's so hard when you serve that many families and know what the impact that this organization and all the members have had. And, we don't know the fate of every child that leaves the village. We'd love to think that the hope carries them on, but we know more and more not. But I think one of the most recent things that happened is we do this questionnaire, and it's, what did you like most about your village experience? And the mom wrote, it was when we were sitting around your amazing resort pool, and my daughter looked at me and said, look, Mom, we're one big happy family again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's more these families are pulled apart at the seams that, are the children who don't even get to know their siblings because they're spending time, in the hospitals, or they have to be isolated. And imagine for a child who already has immune deficiencies and has to be isolated anyway, what this is doing to them. And we were on a FaceTime call the other day with a young teenager who now has to live in the basement of her grandmother's house as a teenager because they're so afraid of what's going to happen. And FaceTiming some of our entertainment staff at the village, because they got to know them and love them, is helping her through these darkest hours. And I think just because of that, that's what keeps hope alive, is knowing that they may not all have happy endings, but for that 1 week, they're happy. And we're creating some memories that their family can look back on. And it's thanks to you and this amazing community of IAAPA.
And we thank you for everything you're doing. And as you said earlier, we will get through this together.
Because we are one big happy family, just like that little girl said. Look, Mom, we're a big happy family. And if we all keep that attitude, we will get through this together.
Pam Landreth, the president, CEO of Give Kids the World, thank you so much for your time this morning. We greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure. Love you. Love all of you. Thank you.
We love you as well. Hang in there. And again, please let us know what we can help, what we can do to help. Take good care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And thank you for joining us for this IAAPA live chat. We greatly appreciate your time. As you can see, scrolling right there at the bottom of your screen, we have a website available for all IAAPA members right now. You can log on to iaaapa.org/COVID-19 for more information that can help you prepare not only to reopen, but what you can be doing in the meantime. I'm IAAPA Managing Editor Scott Feiss. On behalf of Susie Story and Megan Stott, our producers of this stream or broadcast this morning, thank you for watching. And on behalf of all Team IAAPA at our offices working from home around the world, thank you for joining us. We will get through this together as one united global attractions family.